Hey guys, Geekopedia here. Welcome back to another video, and I wanted to give you a brief update because yesterday my pal Outlaw Samurai and I went to watch Venom Let There Be Carnage. So I just wanted to give you a few brief thoughts about it, how I felt. Outlaw Samurai and I are going to do a more in-depth review on it in the next couple of days, so be sure to stay tuned for when we create that and when we get that posted. But I just wanted to give some of my thoughts on this movie, how I personally thought. Now, I want to warn you, there are not going to be any spoilers in this, so you don't have to worry about spoilers at all. Anything in particular that happened in the movie, you're safe. I'm not going to reveal anything in the movie that happened in the movie in particular, but I will say whenever Outlaw Samurai and I do our official review, there will be a lot of spoilers in that. So this video is going to be short. It's going to be short, sweet, just my initial thoughts on the movie itself. So I never got to post a review for the previous Venom film. Outlaw Samurai and I actually filmed a video, and it's in the process of uploading to YouTube right now. And I really liked the first Venom movie. I liked it, and there were some things that I didn't like about it, but overall, I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't a perfect movie. It wasn't the best movie of 2018 or anything like that. It was far from the best movie. It had a lot of issues, but I would say that the first Venom movie, I liked it. It was a good movie, in my opinion. So, and of course, with Venom Let There Be Carnage introducing my favorite comic book supervillain, Carnage. Of course, I was excited to see that. I was excited to see Carnage finally be brought to the big screen. So, Outlaw Samurai and I got to watch it on yesterday evening. So, overall, I thought it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It fixed an issue that I had with the first movie, with the pacing. The first Venom movie, I will agree, was very, very slow, especially in the first act, but this movie is a breeze. Like, it gets going immediately, and it doesn't stop, and I really liked that about this. I really liked it about this movie. It just started and didn't stop, if that makes sense. It just hit the ground running and didn't stop running. So I really liked that about it. There were a few parts, maybe at the beginning, it was a little too fast. It was slightly a little bit too fast in the beginning, but, I don't know, you know how, like, in the first movie, where it's really slow, but once Eddie gets Venom, that's when it finally starts to pick up. The movie, it's kind of like that in this one, but reversed. Where, like, in the first act, it's super fast, but once Cletus gets Carnage, that's when it finally hits the perfect pacing. So, that's probably how I feel about the pacing. I really did like the pacing. The CGI was amazing. The second I heard Andy Serkis directing Venom 2, I thought, yes, Andy Serkis is the king of CGI. So, when he was hired to direct this movie, man, I was excited. It was insane. It was great. So, I thought the CGI was really good. Not a lot of the CGI felt like it was unfinished or fake, as there were some parts of the first movie where the CGI felt a little unrealistic, where it felt like it just felt unfinished, if that makes sense. And so I definitely feel like the CGI was a lot better. Now, the moment of truth that I was personally waiting for, Carnage's reveal. Oh my gosh. Now, I know a lot of people, me in particular, growing up, looking at, in the early days of the internet, or at least when I was first getting into the internet, when everybody thought that Tobey Maguire was going to star in Spider-Man 4, and that it was going to be Carnage. Like, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man versus Carnage. If you remember that, dang, ever since then, I've been a fan of Carnage. And so finally getting to see Carnage in a live-action movie, I was stoked. I was excited. So obviously, throughout this entire movie, I was sitting there waiting. Yeah, I'm having a blast, but when is Carnage gonna come? When's Carnage gonna arrive? So, when Carnage finally arrived, I thought, holy cow, dang. Like, his first scene, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but his first scene was nuts. His first scene was nuts. I will say this. I want to address the elephant in the room. A lot of people felt like this needed an R rating, so I feel like it doesn't exactly need an R rating because I look back at The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is probably my favorite action movie ever, and it has my favorite variation of the Joker, and that was PG-13, but it was really pushing the boundaries of a PG-13 rating. And so I was really thinking, oh, okay, so if this is going to be PG-13, they could kind of take inspiration from The Dark Knight, and they could really push those boundaries. And I kind of feel like, while I did like the characterization of Carnage, it definitely was not a disappointment. I was thoroughly satisfied with Carnage's character in this movie, but I will say, I kind of do feel like maybe it could have used an R rating, just because I definitely wanted to see a little bit of Carnage committing a few more sadistic acts. Like, he really does. Carnage does some brutal stuff in this movie, but it's a lot more on the lines with what the first Venom movie did, where it shows Venom getting ready to bite someone's head off, but then it cuts away, then it cuts back, and he's already bit the head off. Like, it kind of pulled that with this movie. And there was some parts where they were really pushing that, where they were really, really pushing it, but still, I kind of feel like, okay, maybe it could have benefited better with an R rating, or at the very least, they could have really pushed the boundaries just a little bit more. But that is my only complaint on it. I thought Carnage as a character was pretty cool. Cletus, I will say this, they did Cletus's character a little differently, which I'm actually really surprised at. I looked at Outlaw Samurai in the theater, and I'm thinking, wait, what? And I don't know. When we do the spoiler review, I'll explain that more in depth. But I really feel like this movie was good. I'm really happy that this movie was a good movie, and I'm really happy that Carnage was finally a live-action movie. Was it perfect? No. No movie's perfect. I was not expecting to walk into the theater to watch a perfect movie. I was not expecting that for a second. But I am satisfied with what with the end product. I'm satisfied. I'm happy that Carnage finally is in a live-action movie, and I'm happy with Woody Harrelson's performance, and despite it being a PG-13 rating, I really feel like they did do good with Carnage as a character. So, that's my thoughts. That's my initial thoughts. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Look out for me and Outlaw Samurai's full-on review of Venom Let There Be Carnage. When our video discussing Venom 1 and 2 comes out, we filmed it a couple days before we watched the movie, but something's been going on, and for some reason YouTube doesn't want to upload my videos, so it's gonna sound a little weird, even though it's gonna upload a day after it gets released, when we filmed it a couple days beforehand. So please ignore that inconsistency. That's I didn't mean that at all. So thank you so much for tuning in this video. Be sure to check out Venom Let There Be Carnage. It's good. So thank you guys. God loves you, and I love you too. See you guys next time.